What's up, my friends? I know that there are like 100 different ways out there to tune your drums. Well, today I'm going to teach you another way to tune your drums. This is my way of tuning drums to pitch. We're going to be doing that by using the drum dial to set the tension and then the Tunebot to find the fundamental frequency. I will link these down below. If you like the results, you can pick them up for yourself. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to use the drum dial and we're going to set the tension of the resonant heads, the bottom heads. We're going to make sure that every lug reads the same. I usually set it to 70 or 72, somewhere in there. I found that to be kind of the sweet spot. We're going to take the drum, flip it over so that the resonant head is on top. And then we're going to take our drum dial. It has a spacer here. And we put this against the rim. And we're just going to go across these tension rods and we're going to make sure that they all, I'm going to set these to 72. I'm going to make sure that they all say 72. We're going to go opposites. See, this one is all jacked up. This one was way up there. We're going to make sure that we're going across rim to rim. Now, some of these are pretty close and some of them need a lot of work. The problem with these drums is if the tension rods are not the same, they can create weird overtones and just all kinds of problems. Yep, so there we go. I think we're all set to about 72 now. Yep, so now that I have this one set, I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest. Okay, now that we have all of our tensions on the resonant heads set at 72, every tom, every lug is set to 72 by using the drum dial. Now we're gonna address the top heads, the batter heads. Same way, we're gonna take the drum dial and we're gonna set each lug so that it is the same tension. I like to do 75 on the batter head. I find that to be kind of the sweet spot. So that's what we're gonna do next. The 12-inch tom here was so out of tune that I just completely loosened up so I can kind of show you how I do this. Right now, these are all just finger tight. So what I'm gonna do, before I even put a drum dial on it, I'm just gonna do 1/4-inch turns until we get just a little bit of our tone. Okay, so now we're getting a little bit of our tone. These are tightening up a little bit. So when I get to about that point, I'll use my drum dial to do the rest. So I like to do batter heads about 75. And we're gonna go opposite to keep these equal. Usually I like to take the tom off of the stand for this so that I can get a little more accurate reading, because right now it's kind of... So that one's all set to about 75 across each head. Now I'm gonna go down and do that to the rest. Okay, now that we have all of our tension set, top and bottom head, our bottom heads are set at 72 and our top heads are set at 75. We're gonna set our drum dial aside and now we're gonna bust out our Tunebot. Now our Tunebot is what we're gonna use to find the fundamental frequency of each tom. The Tunebot has a couple different modes that you can run it in. I like to run it in the frequency mode. I find that to be the most accurate. I'm going to upload a cheat sheet down below that's going to give you a graph that will show you what note is what frequency. So you might be wondering, how do I know what note to tune my drum to? Well, now that we have all of our drums set to kind of their sweet spots, I usually just find the note that is closest to that sweet spot that fits the key that we're playing in. So today, the song that we're working on is in A minor, so I know that A, B, C, D, E, F, G, no flat, no sharp, will fit the scale. So I'm going to start off with my 12-inch here, and I'm going to tune this. So right now it's 102, which is around G sharp. I think G sharp is 103. Since that doesn't fit our scale, I'm going to tune it up to an A, which I know is 110. And again, I'm going to offer the download sheet down below the cheat sheet so that you can also have that. Now I'm just going to be doing quarter turns, or even less than that. I'm just going to be working on getting this up to 110. Okay, so now we're at 110. So that is now currently tuned to an A. Sounds awesome. I like to use these snare weights. I'll also include the link to these down below. I find them very useful to help get rid of the extra overtones. They're kind of like a moon gel, but you don't lose them. They don't get dirty. They're wonderful. They just snap right on here to the rim. Okay, now that we have our 12-inch set, we're going to move on to our 10. Again, have this tuned around. The tensions are set to 75 on the top, 72 on the bottom. That is putting us at 132-ish, which I know that 132 is close to a C. 130 is going to be our C. And if you want to tune in intervals, which I really like to do, the C is going to be a third above that A. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a third from here to here. So this is going to be a third interval. And then from this one to this one is going to be a third interval. And then on top of that, we're going to put this one and this one an octave apart, so that when you hit these two toms together, they're both going to be a C. This is going to be C3 and this is going to be C2. It's very musical. It's very pleasant. So that's at 132. We're going to just turn that down. 130. And there we go. So this is now tuned to a C. Now let's hear the interval from the C to A. Okay, now that we have our rack toms tuned, let's move on to our floor toms. We're going to start with the 14-inch here. Okay, so 80 hertz is close to an E. 82 hertz is an E. So we're just going to tune this up just a little bit so that that is tuned to an E. And again, small increments. A little bit goes a long way with this. Okay, so that is now tuned to an E. Okay, now that we have our 14-inch in key, let's move on to our 16-inch. Okay, 67 hertz is what we're at currently. I know that C is 65 hertz. Now again, C is going to be the octave. This is going to be C2, and this is going to be C3. So that's going to be the octave. So we're going to tune this down to a 65. And there we have it, C. Now that we have all of our toms tuned to key, let's hear it. So this tuning sounds great, but what happens if one of the songs on the record is in A major? Well, that doesn't work because this is tuned to a C and this is tuned to a C, and A major has F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. So that means we need to change something. We can either take this up a half step or down a half step. Let's try taking it down a half step, which would be B, which I know is 123. So that is now a B. But if you hear that, now those sound too close to the same note. It is only a full step. If we want to maintain this interval of a third, and this is tuned down to a B, this is tuned to an A, so we had to tune that down to a G. G in this scale is sharp, which I know is 103 for our frequency. So let's try tuning this down. And now we're at 103, which is G sharp. So now we have just made that interval once again. So this is tuned to a B, this is a G sharp. That interval is maintained, and then actually, since this is tuned to an E, now we have an interval of a third between this. So we have a third from here to here, and a third from here to here. And since E is natural in A major, this can remain tuned as is. But something has to happen with this floor tom because it's tuned to a C. We either need to tune it down to a B, which would be the octave of this, or we can tune it up a half step, which would be C sharp, which would be, again, maintaining that third between this E and this C. So let's try tuning it up to a C sharp, which I know is 69 hertz. Still sounds great. So now that we've done that, now we've just created thirds between each drum. So let's hear how these drums sound tuned as they are now. Okay, well that's it. That's how I tune drums to a pitch. If you found this interesting, make sure to like and subscribe. Also be sure to check out the drum dial, the Tunebot, even the snare weights. Also the cheat sheet down below in the description. Download that to help you on your drum tuning journey.